Well, we know that artificial intelligence is having a big impact on so many businesses out there right now. But can AI help improve the decision making within a firm, especially when you're thinking about things like negotiating a contract with another company? Well, that is occurring right now, and it's also a way to prove that AI can be a significantly positive impact on a business, and it takes away some of the concerns out there that some have. Martin Rand joined us. He is the CEO of Pactum AI, which is a company right in the middle of this entire process right now. Martin, thank you for a few moments today. All the best to you. How are you today, sir?
Hey, Dan. I'm good. It's great to be on the program. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. And so let me start out with the work that you guys are doing with Pactum and this component of AI around negotiation. How did that all come about from your perspective?
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're helping very large enterprises such as Walmart or Maersk that have hundreds of thousands of suppliers negotiate supplier deals because they can probably talk to maybe 10% of their suppliers and the rest are kind of unmanaged. So in our case, a bot reaches out to suppliers and negotiates better commercial deals at massive scale. We're generating hundreds of millions of dollars of value for both sides.
How did this all come about that you found out that bots were able to do a better job in the negotiation process?
It all came about because I saw how bad I was in negotiations, and I thought there are other people like me out there. So I sold my last company to Monsanto and became a commercial lead for Monsanto's Climate Corporation for Europe. Now, my task was to negotiate deals. When an opponent gave me 5 things that we absolutely couldn't give them, I just said no, and I lost the whole multi-million-dollar deal thanks to that. And I thought, wow, what else is out there in terms of negotiation knowledge? And how can I improve myself? Well, my investigations led to creating an AI bot that can negotiate autonomously and not make such mistakes anymore.
And so having successes in and around AI, I guess, becomes very important right now with all that is being leveraged around AI right now, and both positive and negative thought process about the impact that AI could have.
Correct. And I'm slightly worried about that. Looking at the market, not every company understands the implications of AI and understands this technology, especially large language models such as ChatGPT, which many of our listeners know about already. So those new types of systems, they're not databases. They're neural networks. That means data cannot be added to them very easily, and data cannot be deleted from them very easily, and they cannot essentially be guardrailed. Now, many companies don't seem to understand this, and we have seen situations where a gentleman in California bought a brand new Chevrolet Tahoe for $1 because the dealership put out a large language model to talk to customers. And this large language model was essentially reprogrammed on the fly. Air Canada put out a large language model to support their customers, and it gave a refund, which it was not supposed to give. They got sued and they lost. So that tells me that companies don't understand large language models. They are significantly different from the technologies we've seen so far.
So then when you think about the use of AI in something like finance, that has to bring an even greater focus on having the level of success you want, because you certainly do not want to see an incredible negative impact on any kind of financial institution. The impact could be significant.
Correct. And in finance, I would split this issue into 2. If we talk about algorithmic trading that is supported by LLMs, That's all structured, and the regulators have learned to cope with that quite well. They have built, for instance, circuit breakers that enact automatically to individual stocks or to whole stock markets, and we saw such circuit breakers help out when the flash crash of 2010 happened, and so on. So trading is regulated, rules-based, and there's no open text communication coming out of an LLM in terms of trading. So that's the safer side, I would see. The more dangerous side is new financial institutions providing open text investing advice based on large language models, and that I would be more careful about, like exemplified already with this Chevrolet dealership and Air Canada. Yeah. Anything can come out of a large language model.
So then when somebody like Janet Yellen makes comments about showing the potential significant threats because of AI in the finance sector, your reaction to that type of a statement is what?
I think she's very right to bring out those worries because I also think that many companies don't understand these new technologies. However, I would say that in terms of markets and trading, I see less of a worry. But in terms of supporting retail investors and giving out investment advice, there we get into issues like being able to massively create fake sentiment, being able to massively disseminate false information and bias. Mm-hmm. And this is problematic. The good side is that it's already regulated. Giving financial advice is already regulated, but it needs to be policed better. And policing an automated system with unlimited capacity is harder and harder, and that's a challenge the regulator should deal with.
The question then that I have is, and you mentioned about the level of regulation in the finance sector already, but as you allude to, with a component of not having the level of understanding, doesn't that open the door for potential bad actors to, use AI as something that can be a tool to the negative, to the downside of that sector right now?
Correct. It can, and it can influence large swathes of people to act in their interest and act according to their malicious interests. And this is a problem. And much more rigorous policing should be implemented there. This, I think, is something that we haven't had to do so far. And that's why Secretary Yellen is raising it as well.
So it's not necessarily a greater need for more regulation at this point. It's just doing a better job overall.
I wouldn't overregulate nascent technologies because there's a lot of value to the whole society that these technologies could bring. What I would look at is using existing regulation to combat excesses, but policing them in a different way, policing them in a way which is applicable to automated systems which can act on a massive scale.
How do you expect AI then to continue to work to the benefit of companies moving forward and even the finance sector as well?
What we are big proponents about is that even though LLMs sound fascinating, there are plenty of AI technologies out there which are much more responsible. So rules-based, explainable AI systems give the security to the customer that in an AI negotiation, a system does not go outside of boundaries. So it doesn't start introducing legal risk or financial risk. So how our system is built up is that it's a structured chat, but every sentence is at the end of the day approved by legal, and it cannot. The discussion cannot go in any direction as with a large language model. So my advice for the future would be is that before companies jump on an LLM-based solution, which is a black box and cannot be guardrailed, then existing explainable AI methods should be reviewed first.
In terms of the work that your company is doing, to what level of benefit have you seen the element of AI take hold for your firm, but also for the firms that you're working with?
The benefit is enormous. I'll bring you an example. Our clients sometimes have thousands of physical locations, and each location requires a lot of services like plumbing, or parking lot sweeping, or pressure washing. Each service has tens of rates. So at the end of the day, the company would have to negotiate more than 1 million rates every year. Basically, this is not happening, and these deals are stagnant. They're stagnant for the large enterprise, and they're stagnant for the suppliers as well. Now, if you're a small entrepreneur in a local geography doing pressure washing, the system will reach out to you and say, hey, can you do parking lot sweeping as well? Can you cover these two neighboring locations as well? We could actually, if you're more efficient, we can offer you more business. And let's talk about these other tradable terms as well, such as price and payment terms and so on, and comes out with a suitable solution for both sides. And this is done at a massive scale. So as said, the impact is hundreds of millions of dollars of value created for the enterprises and their vendors.
And then the larger hope is with the implementation of AI on a variety of these different levels, that the successes you have hopefully broach themselves out into a larger scale, larger companies, et cetera, and you have kind of a path to have successful AI, but AI that is not implemented in a negative fashion or working in a negative fashion.
Correct. Responsible use of AI. And we think it's so important that we even set up an autonomous negotiations academy to educate people who are now users of AI. That means they are not flying the plane anymore as a pilot. They have to configure the autopilot. And this responsible way of thinking we're big promoters of those, and we invite new companies to come to this field as well and support our initiative.
What would be the advice you would give from the experiences that you've had in the use of AI in your operations to what the finance sector needs to think about?
I would give one very simple advice. Don't let a large language model represent your company in an open text format if there are legal or financial consequences outside your company. Review responsible technologies of using AI.
Great to have you with us today, Martin. Thanks very much. All the best.